I'm live. That's good. That's good. Well, you know, it is good. It might be bad news for you, you know, Seth, you know, depending on how antic I get. Seth always wants to put, you know, kids in the airport with the harness on and the kind of leash. You know, Seth wants to put one of those on me all the time because I drift beyond the camera. And, you know, I get excited and I go out into here and, you know. But anyway, so welcome to Adorama. Thank you, Adorama. Thank you to the whole crew. I love the crew here. It's a great store. I'm a great believer in your local camera store because it's your local camera store, man. It's, you know, it's down the corner around the block, you know, and it's a great resource for information, camera sales, of course, but also just as a sense of community, you know, which I think we currently all could use. You know, it's a very fractured environment out there, right? I mean, you got all this internet stuff going on and clubs and this and that. Everybody's exchanging information, but still, at the end of the day, who's with us when we're late at night in front of our computer? Nobody, just us, you know, and you're making your own decisions, and feedback, community is a very positive thing, and Adorama's always been excellent at that. So appreciate you being here, and we'll just rattle our way through some solutions. I'm very informal about all this. I can take things in any direction you so choose, and I just emphasize that this next hour or so is about you guys, not about me. It's not about me making a portfolio picture or anything like that. It's about me running down some hallways, you know, trying a few doors, opening up, realizing it's a mistake, coming back, and all those things that we ordinarily do as photographers in the field, right? How many people here have ever made a mistake with a camera in their hands? Yeah. So that's where we are. Does anybody have any initial questions? Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming. We answered everything already, Seth. So anyway, we are blessed with wonderful talent. We have Jennifer Santiago with us, who's an extremely proficient medal-winning martial artist. And she's absolutely amazing at the kind of physical prowess she brings in front of the lens. So I hope to capture some of that tonight and work with her attitude, the way the angle of her body might be, and certain fighting poses, all of that sort of stuff. We'll experiment. As you can already see, I've already put out too many lights. So, you know, I never met anybody I couldn't overlight. So there we go, you know, and we'll start off with, you know, a couple of basic sort of simple things. I'll show you a couple of examples because, you know, Seth and I had a talk earlier today about sports on and off the field. And I've done a lot of that. I've shot hardcore sports, I've shot Olympics and all of that, but probably I'm I guess I would have to be honest and say far more interested in the people behind the sporting effort, you know, the obsession, the drive for excellence, and sort of illustrating that or illuminating that and talking about perhaps sports as a concept or maybe an interpretive look at what a certain sport and how an athlete engages with it. We cool? Was that a question, sir? Oh, okay, all right. All right, so yeah, sports on and off the field. I mean, this will be like 5 minutes. I just kind of, you know, so that's, you know, that's sports, right? That's action sports, right? Usain Bolt, Rio Olympics. This is controlled action sports. This is every single one of these women are obstacle course runners, but they participated with me in an effort for Nikon where we filled that trench with mud. I set the fire under supervised conditions in the background of the forest. I lit the forest. I had them run through a gauntlet of speed lights. There's a beauty dish suspended overhead as they charge towards the camera. It's shot with a 400 millimeter lens. Well, it's that type of athlete, obstacle course, Tough Mudder. You know, it riffs on the whole Tough Mudder thing, you know, where there's splashing and mud and all that sort of exertion. You know, my editor, at Tokyo came back to me when I shipped him this picture, and he had a one-word caption. He just said, "Doink." You know? But this is interpretive action. This is he runs a wonderful martial arts studio in Lower Manhattan, and he is extremely proficient, blades, etc. And so I'm attaching bicycle lights to the end of the blades using stroboscopic, have a plexiglass sort of mirror underneath the lens reflecting him up. I mean, it's fairly extensive. A shot like this literally takes all day. So as opposed to sports action, which is split second, if you look away, it's gone. So there's two different kinds of tracks or approach, well, many different, but I've always felt like, you know, if I can get underneath a sport, you know, this was the most fun story I ever shot in my history with Sports Illustrated, Indiana high school basketball. Just kids playing for the love of the game. It was also the only time working for Time Warner, crisscrossing the back roads of Indiana, that I actually made money on my per diem, because I was eating in McDonald's for like 4 straight weeks. But you know, timing is a lot of this. So is the speed of the cameras, quite honestly. You know, the Mark Henry, who could lay claim to the most powerful, strongest man in the world, 435 pounds, and he was a super heavyweight lifter for the '96 games, and then he went on to have a wrestling career. You know, I said earlier today, I always feel like being kind of superfluous, which I am at an Olympics because I'm not the most experienced Olympic photographer in the world. So I figure somebody's covering the race, somebody's going to get the winner, so I'll cover the legs. You know, I'll just do something interpretive and just cover the legs. And then for Tokyo, I was assigned to do a mood piece. And of course, it went off the rails because I'm shooting all this in 2020, and then the Olympics didn't happen until 21. But you know, this is a legendary Japanese cyclist, gold medal winner at the games, and the busiest intersection in the world. This was a very difficult shot to do because I have, in the middle of this intersection, I have 2 assistants with strobes, and she's stationary on the bike, and I'm trying to find a little window in between the thousands of pedestrians that roll across that street. The sprinters breaking out of the gate, shadows, the hands of Ronnie Coleman. I always find that, you know, the hands of an athlete are very telling. And this is a highly produced shot. The entire United States trampolining team in the air at once. And the technical aspects of how I lit it. Reggie Miller, this was back in the day, back when before he became a Knick killer, and was a member of the Indiana Pacers and cursed him for life. Sean Johnson. A lot of this is just logic and common sense. She grew up in Iowa. What do they do in Iowa? They grow corn. So you put the balance beam in the cornfield. Not the easiest thing to do because balance beams are very heavy. Female triathlete. And then the lead for the Zuma reportage page, where I took a legendary Japanese gymnast, gold medal winner, legacy athlete in Japan, and I bounced him off a trampoline up by Mount Fuji, the symbol of the country. And all of that, you know, just kind of rolls into like, how much do you love to shoot this kind of a thing? And I've loved sports. Was never a very good athlete myself, but I loved sports since I was a kid. So, you know, there you go. Just a quick sampling of things that happen in front of your lens and things that you create. So I'm going to quit out of this. Hopefully I'll do this without destroying the computer.
While you're doing that, Joe, we just want to thank OWC for sponsoring this. You've been using OWC for a minute.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So
Yep.
if you guys are looking at new memory cards, OWC is out there. Civ Express Type B, A, SD, all of it. Check out OWC. Yay, look at me.
Yeah. They're amazing. I just did a trip out of the United States with one of their little drives, a little SSD, and 2 terabyte cards, and that's really all I brought. The whole take. I never even opened the cameras. You know, it wasn't a heavy pressure job. It was more of a scouting trip, but I just left all the images on the cameras, and that's all I traveled with, and that's all I needed. 2 terabyte cards, you know, so I got 2 terabytes in the camera. Is anybody else like just amazed by that? Gosh, yeah, Joe, it's incredible. Holy smoke. Oh, wow. Yeah, but I guess point of reference, I started with 36 exposures, you know, and you tell somebody who's young at the Olympics that you used to have to time it. You know, if you're covering an 800-meter race or something like that, and you burn through 18, 20 frames, do I have time to change out that cassette of film before they come around again? Things like that. That kind of strategy types of thinking, that's just not necessary anymore. All right. How about I introduce Jennifer, who's wonderful. How about a round of applause for Jennifer? And you could go to your mark and maybe just kind of hang out there for a minute. So what I'm going to do is we'll start with Because I don't have much time, I kind of preset a couple of lights, kind of messed around a little bit, but I'm going to drain this. Here we go. Whoops. I'm going to kill everything except group A. So what I've got is individual controls. Everybody familiar with the Pro Photo system? Okay, a lot of various, lighting systems have the same kind of arrangement, radio control, groups, zones, all of that. I work with Pro Photo, so it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You pick a channel and you put a light in a group in it. So this one here is group A, B, C, D, and E. And we'll just turn them on in turn and see what they do. And Jennifer will move as, we'll kind of work it out together. I'm always very respectful of an athlete because, they've worked very, very hard to get to the state of excellence that they currently represent. So I'm very reverent about approaching that and seeing, as we go. I don't like to put an athlete in an uncomfortable position. Just kind of something that is relatively natural, but also works for the picture. We meet in the middle, okay? So, again, before we start, any questions? We good to go? Yes, sir.
Do you like working in tight spaces? Like, say, this is a tight space for an athlete, or do you like having it open up a little bit?
I hate working in tight spaces.
Repeat the question.
Repeat the question, yeah. Do I like working in tight spaces? You do what you do. You play the hand of cards you're dealt. I've done CEO photography in the equivalent of an electronics closet. The folks walk you in and say, "Is this okay?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, fine." It hampers you in terms of it robs you of options, because I will beg, borrow, and steal any amount of space I can get for my subject to the background, for instance. Okay, I can't get that right here, right now, but that gives me two different zones, right, that I can control independently of each other, especially when you're working with gels, because a gel has to control a certain area. If I, say, had these gels, some of these lights are gelled, okay, but if I put up a big umbrella here, the big umbrella scatters everywhere, blows away the gels. So control of light is paramount, and at least, I would say probably most of the time, a certain level of space in the studio helps you with establishing a measure of control. Also, there's a lot of other things that affect. One thing that's good about this studio here is that the walls are dark. So you haven't got an automatic blowback or bounce from a white wall. So you can, white walls in a studio are fantastic, but lots of studios that have white walls also have black draping. So you can take an additive source of light, the white wall, and make it a subtractive source of light by drawing a black drape over it. These are things that, help you establish the control you're looking for, because the studio means control. When you're out on location, you can't control what the sun's doing. You have to accommodate it with your lighting solution. But here in the studio, it's all about control, and the very first thing I did tonight, okay, is I blinded the camera, right? By my f-stop shutter speed combination, I made all of this go away. So let's start there. All right, so if I just do this, Jennifer's in there somewhere. I've stolen her soul, Oh no! So my f-stop shutter speed combination is currently 1,000th of a second at f2. Okay, so I have minimum depth of field, because the whole photo world has gone crazy over bokeh, right? The out of focus stuff in a picture. That's not so paramount for me tonight. I'm going to adjust my f-stops here and there, because I got nothing in the background to throw out of focus. I don't have Christmas lights or any of that kind of hoo-ha that you see a lot in various photographers' representation of lack of depth of field. Was that a value judgment that I just threw out there? I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. So, okay. Anyway. All right, so I only have one group active. That would be Group A. All right, so no real pressure on this. This is just a piece by piece, Jennifer, so your relaxed position right there is totally fine. That's excellent. You look routinely amazing. Okay, So, all right. So there you go, right? That's one light. And what I've done with these lights, there's a deep blue gel on this 1x3. When I'm photographing athletes, I do really like strip softboxes. Okay, everybody know what I'm referring to? Long, narrow, skinny softboxes. Because it's like drawing a line of light along the human body, especially if you have a really defined human body that's accelerated in the realm of musculature. You can really, really just outline that body with a hot line of light or a color or something like that. And with grids, you can see the grids, the light hopefully doesn't go anyplace else. All right, so they're both equivalent value, 9.0. Part of that is accommodating the loss of power that the high-speed sync is driving me towards, right? Hang in, perfect. So now you can see it's pretty equivalent, you know, it's not exact. Some photographers in a studio setting, if they have a bigger studio, they'll actually map out the wing lights. I call this position 3/4 back, so it's like not the plane of your subject's shoulders, it's behind. If you bring it up to the plane of their shoulders, what will happen is the light will creep around their body and start to clip their nose or throw a shadow, this and that. You don't want that. If you notice, the center of Jennifer's face is pretty much still in darkness. Little bit of see, you can see the left hand, camera left, is just a little bit creeping around, just a tiny bit. I'm not over worried about it because I'm going to introduce some frontal light that'll take care of that. But the frontal light I'm going to introduce, as you can see here, there's a grid in this as well. So it's a beauty dish. I call a beauty dish, it's a hard and soft light simultaneously. A lot of beauty photographers use it. It's a cheekbone light. And Jennifer's got wonderful symmetry to her face, so I've pushed it over head of her. Instead of bringing it from the side, I'm bringing it straight down on her just like this. So hopefully I'll achieve a certain level of symmetry to the highlight area of her face while not bothering the blue over here or over flooding it or outright destroying it. Okay? Whew. Anybody else having an amazing amount of fun? You know, win, lose, or draw, I freaking love this, you know? I actually do. I don't care if, well, I do care. I want the pictures to be good, but at the same time, I enjoy time behind the camera, you know? I just do. And it's part of me, and so I've asked the store to stay open until 10 o'clock tonight, and they're gonna lock the doors from the outside, so you guys are here for the duration. That's all right. Yeah, no, I'll buy everybody dinner. Did I just say that out loud? Oh my God. All right. So I'm working a Nikon Z9. I have an auto area AF with an eye detect. So beautiful thing about camera technology is the auto area is picking up on her, but the automated systems of the camera, the AF, is finding her eye. It recognizes her eye. And we all know this, right? If you just take a quick look here, you know, that's nice and sharp. So at 2.0, you do have to be careful. I would not trust earlier AF systems at 2.0. I would probably take control of them a little bit back in the day and photograph manually if I'm that skinny on depth of field. But now the technology of these cameras is pretty darn accurate. It really is. Okay. So where am I? That's 3 lights. All right, let's stay there for a minute. Now, there you can see one of my lights over here creeping in a little bit. I'm going to adjust this just a tiny bit, push it back. As you can see, everything I do up here is absolutely precise, really mapped out. You know, no, there's nothing left to chance. All right. But no, that's the thing, is you have to follow your instincts, throw a dart at the wall, get started, and then bounce back from when you make a mistake. So I think we're doing pretty well. So Jennifer, could you maybe strike a bit of a fighting pose for me? Okay, that's nice. All right. If I gave you a count, could you tense up and just,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Make believe I'm your opponent, all right? All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Nice. All right, so now she adjusted her face down a little bit. Let's keep your chin up just a tiny bit. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Nice. See that difference? It's minimal, but it's important. So I'm not lighting her in a friendly way, right? If Jennifer is in fighting mode, you don't want to get in the ring with her, right? I mean, I call this light kind of Goodfellas light, Remember that famous movie poster with De Niro and Joe Pesci and what's the other fella? Ray Liotta. And it's, you can call it Goodfellas light or you can call it, you talking to me light? That kind of thing, So it's not friendly. Her eyes are a little bit shadowed. So it's a strong light. And I kind of like it. What do you guys think? Too much?
Are you alive? Any of you guys?
You
can
like
talk.
it? Okay, let's lift chin up just by like 1 inch, okay? And you can drop your arms and just give me that, what you just did. It's like, kind of thing. All right, ready, chin, that's nice. And there you go, right? So that was an adjustment of about 1 inch, and now the light is in her eyes. So if I don't want that chin up look, what I could do easily is just take this beauty dish. It's a silver beauty dish, so de facto it's a little poppy, So I could take it, I could rotate it just a little bit this way. This is almost tabletop. We refer to that in the studio as just a flat out, just 180 across the board here, straight line, tabletop analogy. This is slightly kicked. If I kicked it a little bit more, I'd get more light into her face. But what we are going to do is we're going to fill her face now with this light. This is a Profoto A10. It's got a Magnum click on it with a grid. So I've really and there's also, I've zoomed this light. The A10s have a zooming factor that you can, swing them wide, or it's like it's a Fresnel at the end of these lights here. So I'll activate Group D. Running at a fairly low power. Now you can come right at me with your eyes. Okay, let's go back to a fighting stance, please. Nice, good look, good look. That might not have gone on. I don't think that's firing.
Group D.
Group D.
All right, try it. It's fire.
Yeah, now it is.
It's fire.
Okay.
Put on the monitor.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
It got flipped up.
What was happening when you're working with a light that's really precisely focused, if you jostle it, if it slips on you, it can entirely miss your subject. So check that out before you start making wholesale adjustments. So now there's more light in her eyes. There's a catch light on the bottom of her eyes. I'm going to go to 6.0. That's one stop on the Profoto scale of things. Ready? Here we go. Good look.
You got a question in chat.
Okay. So now I'm just making adjustments. Now you can like this. I personally don't. I think it's a little too full. You see the little bit of encroachment on her lower chin? That's coming from her knuckles of her right hand. You always have to be careful when you're bringing a low light. If like a dancer or a boxer puts their arms out like this and you have a low light, that is going to cause a shadow to be cast on their face. Okay? So I'm going to back that light off by half a stop, and good look, good look. Nice. There we go. That's somewhere in the middle ground. We have a question?
Yeah. So in the chat, Paul is asking for shots with the hands closer to the camera. Would you have them in focus as well?
Yes, that's a next step. Is that Paul?
Yeah.
That's a next step, Paul, because you can see her lead hand. The hand that she's got tucked in towards her chest. That's okay. But at F2, that lead hand is going to be a little bit of a problem for me. It looks too much like an out of focus blob. So that we're going to build this in steps. I started at F2 because I wanted the control of the lights, etc. But where we're going to go from here is add a little depth of field. Okay? We good? So the way I'm going to do that, because I like the ratios of the lights, you can control the lights in unison up here on the ProPhoto controller, but the very simple thing I can do is I can ISO up.
Another question.
Okay, let's see, what's 2 stops? Let's see. All right, let's try this. I'll get to that question in just 1 minute. I'm going to go to F4 now and see how we do. Beautiful, beautiful. Lovely. Same ratio of the lights. You can see the hand up front is starting to take shape a little bit more. You know, I haven't got too much leeway on the lights right now because on these background lights, I'm almost at full power. But there's other things I can do. What's the question, please?
So in the chat, they're asking, how much do you encourage your model to look at the images as you shoot, and can it be a problem?
Yes and yes. I mean, I like to get somebody participating, you know. I mean, obviously, if my first few efforts are a horrendous mistake, I'm like, you just relax a little bit. You know, if I have them on the set, I'll call for hair and makeup. Hair and makeup are wonderful, you know, because they really want to do their job. They're like hovering on the edge of the set, you know, and, you know, you can call them, they're almost like Navy SEALs with makeup, you know, it's like, if I need a break at camera, I'll just call for hair and makeup. She doesn't need hair and makeup. I need hair and makeup. I need like 3 minutes to just kind of collect my thoughts, figure out what the next thing, you know, because the hair and makeup people are ready to go. Like, oh yeah, can you just fix that little, you know, that thing over there? Like, on it, you know, and then the hair person is on your 6, you know, and they're fussing, and you're like, okay, just breathe, Joe. Just breathe. You can get through this. You can get through this. So, yeah, you know.
You
so
just hit
there's
your
a
on
dodge.
switch. What just happened?
You know, that's a little bit of a dodge I use sometimes on the set. Other times I'm just really straightforward. If I'm really lost on a set, I'll just be honest about it. You know, I'll look at the client, I'll look at the subject. Let's take a break because we have to make some adjustments. You know, who doesn't need to make adjustments? You know, in your own work life, in a meeting or something like that, how often do you have to pivot? You know, I mean, so there's no law of nature that says photographers can't do that. So let me take a look and see how we're doing here. It's right
here. It's right here.
I know, but I like to see that because it's bigger.
Fine, go,
Okay.
go.
No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I'm kind of liking it. You know, it's proceeding in a pretty good direction. So, what do you think about that lead hand? Do you think I should tighten it up a little bit?
Tighten it up.
Clean it up?
Yeah.
Tighten it up. All right, cool. Everybody's nodding. Yeah. Oh my God, can you believe how out of focus that is? Jesus. You know, God, I didn't pay any money to come here.
Their time is valuable, Joe. Thank you. Okay.
All right, how am I doing on time? Am I okay? All right.
10 p.m.
All right, in the interest of time, I'm just going to add another f-stop here via ISO. Beautiful. Pull that in a little bit, your lead head. Yep. Pull. Yeah, there you go. Good. There's absolutely nothing wrong with actually, you know, having your subject also adjust. All right. That's a little bright. You know why? Because I went to ISO 800 and I didn't adjust f-stop wise. You know, that's the first mistake I've ever made. All right, perfect. Nice. Better. All right, so a little bit tight, a little bit tighter. Can you go with the weapons? Now, Jennifer told me earlier she classically would not use these weapons with a pair of hand wraps, but we're gonna, we'll get past that. Okay, good look, perfect. What I like about what's happening here is that the weapons are picking up the blue glint, you know, and I'd love to move this light back just a tiny bit. I can't do much because it's right up against the wall here, but we'll give it a try. All right. Okay. Everybody doing good? All right. We okay?
Scoot her over, I'll move the dish for you.
Let me see. That might have done it. I'm actually not worried about that, you know, that little bit of sliver. That's an easy sort of, you can just black that out really easy. I'm working on black, which is, you know, super simple. So let's give this a try. Okay. Cool. All right. Now, Jennifer, I don't never ask you to do something foolish, but do you ever, when you're engaged in a combat or demonstrating, is there anything verbal or vocal associated with that effort?
Yeah.
Okay, could I see that? I'm not going to shoot at it. Ah, okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to stay behind the camera. All right, so could you maybe look away and then snap back to camera? Keep the weaponry, you know, kind of pull it in closer to you, please. That's it, that's nice. And ready, 1, 2, 3, go.
Wait, what am I doing?
You're going to do that Kia.
Oh, okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. I was late. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, that's better. And now there's a shadow that you could call cool, or you could say, let's lower the weapon. If you lower the weapon, you lose the shadow. You know? Do me a favor. Take one of the weapons and put it up near your face so that light would cast a shadow. Keep coming up right in there. Like, I'm going to come closer to you. And if I may,
Yes.
just maybe adjust this, something like that. Okay. All right, stay like that. And then really demonstrative shout. Okay, on the count of 3. You don't have to turn away for this. I'll keep the shadow and register. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Getting there, right? Getting there a little bit.
Sort of in the set.
Okay.
So Kevin in the chat's asking, when shooting athlete portraits, what do you do if their athlete's personality contradicts their sports vibe? Jennifer seems very nice and funny, but her sport is associated with power and dominance.
Good question. I let the athlete be who they want to be, generally speaking. And I try to make any studio session, I try to make as comfortable as I possibly can for my subjects. I want them to give me their best. You know, now, athletes tend to be, like, you know, I photographed a lot of professional, like basketball players, for instance. And, you know, they're getting ready for the game, you know, that night. So they don't really want to be bothered with a photo session because it drains their energy. They want to relax, and then they explode that night on the court. That's where they make their money. So a photo session, oftentimes, for somebody who's in season, is kind of a pain in the butt. So you have to really be efficient, you know, and assure them that you'll spin them out of there. I've shot covers of Sports Illustrated in less than 5 minutes. You know, you just turn it around. You're ready for them to go, you know, and you turn it around extremely quickly. Does anybody remember, what was his name? Vince Carter? You know, he was just an awesome basketball player, durable as heck, you know, and he was up I shot him for a cover of Sports Illustrated for Kids. I had red and everything. He was going to leap at the camera and all that sort of stuff. And he was just absolutely like, you know, okay, bounce the ball, you know. So I tried to get him fired up. And this was back in the day with the Knicks. I looked at him and I said, would you get angry at me if I told you I actually like Patrick Ewing? He was like, all right, it's on, you know. And he gave me like 2 or 3 good leaps, and we were done, you know. You got to be innovative at the camera. Hold the weapon like right up close to your face. Angle it. No, come back, sorry. A little higher. There you go, right there. Okay, bring that one in closer, please. Nice, nice, nice. Perfect, and scream on 3. 1, 2, 3. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, you can like the shadow or not, but you can see how easily you can adjust it. If she drops the weapons a little bit, the shadow goes away. Okay? Now, let's do this. Let's get into some serious trouble. And I haven't turned this light on before. That's the light in the background there. That may or may not be active right now. Give me just a sec. Probably needs a position adjust. Okay. I put a gel on this light too. I mean, why not? You know, have some fun. If you're not having fun doing this, stop, you know, because it's just too hard and frustrating to do if you're not really enjoying it. All right, I'm going to start that light off at 5.0, which is right in the middle of things. Here we go. You don't have to scream or anything. This is more of a test. Perfect. And there's a little bit of glimmer of that light underneath her chin. You can see it there, but it's not over big. Let's take the grid off, if you wouldn't mind, Seth. Thank you so much. Careful, careful. And is it really pointed at the back of her head?
Nope.
Well, there you go. You know, it was pointing towards Piscataway, and
You want it just straight in?
yeah, right to the back, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course. You were going over her shoulder. That's why it hit her jaw.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Just quick. You can just relax. Now we got a little bit better, so we could blow it a little bit more. I'll put a stop and a half. I'll put 2 stops in it. Let's see. Nice. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. Lovely. Okay, so now we got, I'm playing a little bit of color wheel theory. I put a little bit of a warm glow on the back of her head and hair. So let's see. Can you bring them up to either side of your face, or is that completely ridiculous? Pull them back in. Yeah, there. Cool. No, right. You don't have to scream, but please don't smile. Unfriendly, Jennifer. All right, here we go. Cool, cool. All right, that's it. That's better. Nice. Perfect. So that's kind of nice. Not bad. Not bad.
Not bad, Joe.
You know, and it's a nice, you know, Jennifer's going to get these pictures at the end, so it's nice because it says Jennifer Santiago right there. Right there. Very cool. Now, again, light in the eyes. Do you think it's she needs more light in the eyes? I personally don't, but I'll do it for you if you'd like. You know, I'll pump a little light in there. She's pretty good, right? It's kind of strong and a little bit on the menacing side. I mean, if you looked at her, you'd have doubts about getting in the ring with her because she looks strong, you know, really strong. And I kind of like that. Why don't we do that a couple of times so you make sure you get a couple pictures that you like in a little bit closer to your face. That's it. That's it. Super. Stay with me. I'm going to pop a couple of frames here, so stick with me. There we go. Stay. Eyes. There you go. Nice. And now, count of 3, I want you to scream really bad. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
You guys can clap.
You know, yeah, I mean, nice picture, right? Way to go, Joe. Hey, whoa, that's awesome, Joe. That's amazing. Oh, my God. Oh, wow. Holy smoke. I'm so glad I came.
If Joe doesn't get affirmation, I have to pay him, so let's clap as much as we can.
All right, let's...
You still got it,
You have
Joe.
a vested interest. All right, that's Sarah back there. She's a lovely dancer. She works here at Adorama, and she's a friend with Jennifer. She's the reason we have Jennifer. So a round of applause for Sarah. Nice job, nice job. All right, let's do a couple of those. I'll give you a count. Scream on 3. Ready? In tighter. That's it. Cool, cool, cool. 1, 2, 3. Hi-ya! Nice. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi-ya! Nice. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi-ya! Awesome. Fantastic. I think that looks pretty good, you know. So, all right. Why don't you take a break? You know. So where are we time-wise, Seth?
Got like 30 minutes left, maybe more.
Okay. All right.
You got time. Don't worry about
Okay. All right. All right. I'll try not to worry.
I'll pull you when you're washed up. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. So, hopefully that was valuable. Just we'll move on from this setup, but hopefully that was valuable in terms of just building a set, you know, block by block. We saw 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light. So 5 lights sounds like a lot, right? You know, like, oh my gosh, you know. But if you notice, they're all gridded. And every single light, it's not excessive, right? It's not excessive because every single light in the photograph has a purpose, right? You know, symmetrical wings, backlight, main, fill, all that sort of stuff is part and parcel of your thinking process. Before we move on to anything else, does anybody have any questions? Yes?
When you're with your clients, do they have a time span, or like you say you want this done in 2 hours or you want this done in an hour? How do you adjust for that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's my first question on location all the time. Repeat the question. And in terms of timing, you know, how do I accommodate a client's request, demand, / need to have it done efficiently, quickly, and all that. I'm totally comfortable with that at this point. That's one of the benefits of getting older, is that I have a certain level of gravitas as a human being, that if somebody's really being obnoxious about it, I'll just let it happen. I'm like, okay, you want to get done in 3 minutes? You know, I can't do my best work in 3 minutes, but if that's what you want, that's what we'll do. Other times it's kind of necessary, you know, because you know, you've got a lot of people hovering at the camera, and you know, athletes, CEOs, et cetera, you know, have people sort of wanting to whisk the subject away. So it's up to you to be prepared. No substitute for research, and a pre-scout can be very valuable in that instance, because then you have a lighting grid in your head when you walk in, and you're not trying to solve the problem on the fly. Other than that, you know, if we're just intersecting for the first time, that's my first question, that literally to every subject. Hey, how you doing? Everything's good, thank you. How much time do you have? What kind of time pressure? When do you have to be out of here? And so that gives me a marker. Okay, I've got 2 hours to work. The very first thing I do is say, okay, I'm gonna select a space, and I'm gonna get to work. You go do some email, make some phone calls. I want them off the set, right? Because I don't want somebody hovering while I'm like sweating bullets. You never wanna let the client or the subject see you sweat. You wanna have them kind of walk in and everything's nice and natural, and you know, I'm just a creative flower, you know, and this just happened, you know, and now you're going to be graced by the beautiful light that I've brought along with me, and your heart will be lighter because of this experience. I never say that. You know, in my head, I have certain words that I say. I never let them out of my head on location if someone's being a real son of a gun. So yeah, so you know, time is the enemy of photography. It really is. You know, we never have enough time to work, generally speaking, you know. So that's always a concern. But I try to get that straight right away, you know. So it gives me a barometer for how fast do I have to push this along. It also indicates to me how visually ambitious I can or cannot get, right? So, yes?
Do you have a way of, a method of choosing on whether you're going to use a tripod or go handheld?
Sure, good question. You know, I just shot 2 solid weeks for, it doesn't sound glamorous, it's a construction company on Long Island, but they do really big stuff. They're pulling electric from the windmills at the edge of Long Island. They just do like these massive infrastructure projects. So it's actually really cool work. I was under the ground with these crews, you know, and they're pulling cable, and I'm lighting that stuff like, you know, just off the cuff. And also above ground, working for the last couple of weeks, it was blazing sun. So I've got 2 assistants with lights on sticks, just raw light on sticks. And we're just moving and shooting. And that, you're making adjustments. You know, you're looking at the camera, you're doing the math in your head. Okay, how much depth of field, how much power do I have in this light? I have 500 watt seconds. 500 watt seconds sounds like a lot, but when you're fighting off a cloudless July day, it ain't that much. It really ain't. So some of the stuff is really off the cuff and run and gun, and no tripod. In a studio session, or if I have a portrait under control, I do like a tripod, because then I don't have to keep re-referencing my field of frame. You know, if I'm making adjustments, I leave the camera, and when I get back to camera, I'm still seeing the same frame. Instead of picking the camera up off the ground or something like that, the camera stays steady on the tripod, and then I'm coming back, and I know the edges of the frame, and I know where I can put my lights, etc. Cool? Yes, sir.
So once you shoot sport or extra, so do you prefer burst mode or you just assemble split?
Am in burst mode? Not, the question was about, am I in single or am I in burst? When I'm using flash, I'm in single mode. Generally speaking, it just makes sense because if you're bursting the camera at any sort of fast rate, the flashes will not keep up. Especially I work battery operated most of the time, just not going to keep up with it. So when I switch into flash approach, you know, I'm going into single shot, which is limiting, right? Because if you have an athlete coming and leaping at the camera, you have one picture, you know. So, yeah, and if they're only, the very first thing I ask an athlete too, outside of the timing and all of that, is when they're doing something energetic, I ask them, how many of these do you have in you? Okay, and sometimes it's surprisingly little. You think these folks are supermen, super women, just can do anything. You know, that guy Mark Henry, I showed you his fist. I shot him nude, you know, and you know, he's got his underwear kind of tucked up. I shot the '96 Olympic team in the nude. It was scandalous back then. Now, being naked as an athlete is kind of, you know, everybody does it. But I ended up on the Today Show and all of that, like, oh my God, this is, you know, I'm like, yeah, I asked them to take their clothes off. You know, they're beautiful people. So Mark is hiding his underwear with a 45-pound plate. And I'm making pictures, and I think it's really great. I'm making pictures, and like 15 minutes into it, he goes, can I put this down? It's kind of heavy, you know, because I totally forgot, you know, as strong as this guy is, 45-pound weight plate is heavy, you know, so you have to be conscious of that too, you know. Oh, gosh. Anyway, is there a question on the?
Yeah, you got a couple questions in the chat. Also, there's like 200 plus you in this chat and not as many likes. Help Joe out. He feeds his family on likes. But they want to know, did you plan the black wardrobe with a black background? And they also want to know how you picked your colors for the gels.
Okay. The black background came from the notion that I was originally going to do a multiple exposure tonight, but I'm not, because I'm tethered into my computer, and that grays out the multiple exposure aspects of the agenda, you know. So I thought, well, it'd be cool to do a multiple exposure, but I have to do that interior to the camera because the camera processes the file, not the computer. So, so I chose the black background for that. The black gi was just kind of the gi, right? You know, pretty much. And so again, it's about playing the hand you're dealt. And that actually drove me to a good point in terms of, okay, black gi on a black background. All right, what do I need for that? I need separation. So that began my lighting grid. If you noticed, the set that I started to create, I worked from the back to the front, which is not my usual way of working. This is Group A. Group A is usually my main light, which is up by the camera. But I built this set from the back to the front because I realized the very first thing I needed was to separate that black gi from the black background. Cool? And then the color selection, I don't want to say it was random. I mean, certainly the yellowish, orangish light for her hair was driven by the fact that the rims are blue. So I'm playing with the color wheel there. This light here is white. This is white light. There's no gel on that. And there's no gel on this. And that's that. Yep, so I have essentially just two gels in operation. Two families of gels. Cool? All right. So, Jennifer, you're being very patient. So let's do this. All right, well, I'll try to answer on the fly as best I can, but I want to get another setup done before all these amazing folks who came out. And let's see, can you pull the blues off of those two? Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And when you know, I try to be religious about this. When I'm taking a light out of play, I try to make sure I shut it off, like really shut it off. Because if you're not careful about that, it can be going off without you being aware of it and mitigating the lighting effect that you're trying to create. So, all right.
You want to keep them white?
Let's keep those white, yep. Will this bother anybody if I put it over here? It's cool. All right, let's see. Jennifer, if you can maybe get on your mark right here. And actually, no, I'm sorry, I'll go profile. So let's start with that light. So if you could be angled this way, okay? And I'll shoot you in profile to start off with. I'm going to lose this chair just for a sec.
No weapons?
Not yet, not yet. So now I am going to bring these lights a little bit forward. Nice thing about a strip is it does put a narrow strip of light, but if you think you need more light on a certain area of the face or the shadow side of a face, they pivot. So instead of going straight up and down, I can move it this way, so some light will creep around to the shadow side of my subject's face.
While you're doing that, Joe, they're asking if you have a preference on the brand of gels you use.
I generally use Roscoe. They're, pretty ubiquitous. They're popular. They have a lot of, variations. So they're a good professional gel. And they've been around forever. That's true.
And someone's asking, how do you determine how many assistants to bring for a shoot?
Budget. That's pretty straightforward. I've done a lot of jobs by myself, and I still do. I mean, I just did a shot for Stanford University magazine of an author, and she lives in Connecticut, and the entire budget, was quite small. So I drove from my house in Connecticut to her house, and I did the whole job by myself. And I had lights outside the house and this and that. I just worked kind of all day, and I was happy to do it, But for instance, the job I just mentioned with the construction company, I had 2 assistants all the way through. So it's a relative to budget and also relative to the job complexity. All right. So I don't want to lose track here, but so that is A, and that's off. So we're going to just use B for right now. Jennifer, if you could look that way. Yes, and yes. I love it when a subject does exactly what you want them to do before you even say it. It's wonderful. So this is going to be too much light, but let's give it a try. Like I said, it's pretty close. All right, so a little bit hot, Seth, would you mind checking that A group light just to make sure it's kind of off? Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's on standby. You think it's firing?
It definitely fired on this one.
You don't want to just kill it?
Just kill it, please, yeah, for now. And the wraps are doing me a good turn because that lead wrap, if it was just a flesh tone, it might start to get a little hot because it's physically closer to the light. So maybe just tuck that lead arm in a little bit. Okay, that's really nice. That's great. Wonderful. Okay, so a little bright. And remember that is B group light. So it's at 9.0. I'm going to go to 8.0, which is 1 stop down, be a little more subtle. Might be too much. That's beautiful. Remember, I'm at 1,000 at 5.6. All right, so there now the backlight is definitely out of the game here. So you can see there. You can see how, the light is not creeping around, and I have her looking. Here's a good thing to remember. When you're looking to do a profile, always assume that your subject's nose. Say I'm the subject. You can relax, Jennifer. The subject nose is 12 o'clock, all right? And so say camera's over here. So my light should be at 10 o'clock, roughly, 10 or 11, in this neighborhood. Why? Because the light will pass the face and create a shadow drop on the camera side of the face, which edges out the cheek and gives the face volume and dimension, right? If you flood the face with light, it'll lose that sense of having certain, kind of shadowy kind of volume, to use the word again. Let me show. All right, so we'll do this. Now, she's going to stay right where she is, and I'm going to move this forward. Exposure should be roughly about the same. Not too much has changed in terms of the distance. Cool. You look great. That's fantastic. So the shadow is opening up now. And you're starting to lose a little bit of drama, but I actually think the result is pretty pleasing. Because I have a grid in that light, let's do this. Is this all good information? Is this going in a good direction? Just the details of it? Let's just do this for a sec. Now, that light is definitely going to be brighter than what you just saw. Nice. Because I stripped the grid off, it opens the shadow even further, and light loses, I think, a little bit of control, a little bit of charisma. I could get away with it if I just toned it down. 7.0, nice, perfect. What do you think about that? You know, that's got a nice feel to it as well. If I was on a set that there were reflective walls, I would put the grid right back on. Because right now with ungridded light, it's going to fly all over the place. But here, the light is traveling that way. It's got nothing to bounce off, so I'm not over concerned. I still haven't got kind of the feel. I think it's mostly because I wanted to show this. So I think it's mostly because I have this light angled forward. So let's do this. Push it this way. And scooch back just an inch or two. Okay, there we go. See what happens. Okay, perfect. Nice. Resolutely, that shadow remains. I wanted to kind of blow it away. Let's see. I'm trying to screw up here. You know, I am actively trying. Let's see, mess with me, son of a bitchin' light. Hey. Ah, jeez. All right, so you still got a shadow, but be careful of that, because if you drop your subject into the field of the light, the more dramatically you push them into the broad nature of the light, they'll start to lose that defining shadow that is part, I think, parcel of a good profile light. So, okay. All right. All right. Cool. Yeah. I really do know what I'm doing. You know, struggle to continue to have faith. All right, so this is not in a bad position, actually, because it's going to be a shoulder light for her, kind of hit her braids up in here. And her braids are really beautiful because there's this, again, like this symmetry, this graphic nature to them. So putting a light off of them would probably be a cool thing to do. Okay.
They're asking, would you think about knocking back the harsh shadows for female athletes for more flattering light?
Depends on the mission. It's a good question. Depends on the mission of the assignment. If it's a natural thing to do, I mean, you can just relax, Jennifer. It's a natural thing to do to photograph a fighter to look like a badass, right? It kind of goes with the turf, right? You're not going to, use the light you would use for a newborn for an MMA fighter, right? It's a disconnect, So, but if many, particularly female athletes, also male athletes, are just unbelievably beautiful, and lots of fashion magazines reach out to them, and other magazines that are not necessarily sports-driven or assignments. Gabby Reese, does anybody remember that name? Female volleyball player, phenomenally beautiful. And I photographed her years ago, and it was an article for Life on strong women, and they wanted a concept-driven photograph. So I had a prop volleyball made in Los Angeles, huge, like 8 feet in diameter, inflatable, and then I got fishing line and high buoys, and I strung the fishing line this way and supported it so she could get under it, and I took her out to a dry lake bed and she's in her usual kind of beach volleyball outfit, bikini kind of thing, and she comes underneath the ball, and I posed her as Atlas. You know, and it's a lovely photograph. She loves it, and I've sent her a couple of prints over the years. But there's a concept where I was really trying to make the athlete not only look strong, but also look absolutely beautiful. So it really depends. You have to back your solutions out of the assignment. You know, everybody's mad for limited depth of field, right? Okay, fine. For a moody picture of, I don't know, a writer of mystery novels, maybe you photograph in a bar, you know, with limited depth of field and kind of murky and moody and stuff like that. If you're photographing a CEO and you have Mr. or Mrs. Big Shot outside the corporate headquarters, you're not going to photograph minimum depth of field because you're going to want the building, you're going to want the signage. You want to know who they are and what that orientation is. So, you know, it sounds weird, but your f-stop is actually driven by the nature of your assignment. You know, it's not just like part of my creative journey. You know, it's a mission. They're paying you money to render a result that it fits their bill. So when you start to take money from people, the game changes. Yes?
Just to piggyback off what you're saying, if you take a picture of, say, like a female athlete, do you like the pores to be in the picture, like maybe swim pores, or do you beautify it, like and retouching, like kind of just smooth that out?
Generally speaking, not so much. In fact, we're going to go to sweat, and maybe you could take a minute and just do some oil. Yeah, because I asked Jennifer to bring some oil and some sheen, and we're going to go into like a post-workout look. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, it depends. Also depends, and I have a frame of reference that is, I admit, is like from the way I grew up photographic and not so current anymore, because right now anything goes. We're on the verge of AI and all of that sort of stuff. You know, people are changing things like crazy. But I photographed Michelle Pfeiffer for Life magazine with the bulk of the collection, the United States collection of gems at the Smithsonian, Hope Diamond, the whole 9 yards. And then we ran it in Life and didn't retouch it. And actually, there were some of the women's magazines who took up that and started writing articles about it, how Michelle Pfeiffer was so brave that she allowed Life magazine to publish her pictures without any retouching. Well, to me, I mean, she's a phenomenal, beautiful person. Put the picture in the magazine, you know? So it really, like, it's all over the lot, you know? I prefer success at the camera. I don't dive into retouching over much, unless the job calls for it. If it's a beauty job, for instance, it'll be retouched. There'll be skin work. That's beyond my capabilities, so we send it out to a professional retoucher. Cool?
Yep.
All right. I'd really like to get back to photographing her.
I don't know, Joe. I mean, I'm paying you, so, you know. Once you get paid, everything changes,
more.
you know, Joe?
A little more.
But I think people just think shadows are ugly, period, don't you think? Like they get scared of it?
Here. I love shadows, you know. I live on the dark side, you know. I love shadows. I mean, you know, shadows define the human face. They define life, you know, the play of light and shadow. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got was from John Loengard at Life magazine. He always told me, if you want something to look interesting, don't light all of it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like, but they're asking about flattering light and shadows. Just because that shadows doesn't mean it's not flattering.
Can I do this? Okay, ready? Hang in there, not done yet. I'm gonna put a little on your neck, is that okay? Sorry for this, sorry.
I'm used to it.
All right. Now, because of that turn of events here, I think I turned that on. That's A, 9.0. All right, again, fighting stance that way, please. Okay, can you bring your fists in really close to your chin, like you're protecting? Okay, cool, that's great, perfect.
Nice.
Okay, so now I have the backlight going. Super sharp, and you can really tell the, the sweat. You see the sweat? And that looks nice. It looks nice. Okay. My five is 5.6, yep. Now, let's do this. Let's go back to F2. So that is 5.6, F4, 2.8, 2, 3 stops. You know, I've been doing this for 45 years and I still count on my fingers.
You still have all your fingers.
That was cruel.
What just happened to you, Joe?
All right, now, again, super tight with the fists, okay? So I came in over tight because I just wanted to see, there's F2, right? And then that's what happened to the nose, right? The nose goes out of focus. This obviously is out of focus. So critical focus is right on the eye, which I'm very happy about, you know. I mean, you know, that's where it should be. And so now let's do this. How am I doing?
You're all right, relax, I got you.
Okay, all right.
Go, just do
Cool. No, I just really want to, you know, keep shooting.
I'll cut you off when you've had enough, all right?
Are you guys okay?
Yes.
You know, anybody have to be home for dinner? Forget it. No, let's try this. So this is a cool system because it's magnets, right? It's very helpful. So I'm not sure exactly what to do with this though quite yet. Hang in there.
They're asking, so oil was applied to her skin first, then water?
Yes, you want to do that first. There's different types of oils. Lots of hair and makeup people swear by different styles in terms of making sure that the water beads up, right? And doesn't become like sluicing down someone's face like you would if you went over and got tap water and threw it on somebody's face. It just kind of, you know, but if you have some oil on it, it will resonate a little bit and pop up and kind of bead on the face and really look like sweat.
That's a 51.2 lens.
Yeah, I've shot the whole night so far with the 51.2.
They're telling you to call for hair and makeup so you can have time to work.
Yeah. All right, so let me see. What was that?
No, it's not a 24-hour stream. Stop it. You want to? We can do it at my studio. You want to do it? You want to see if we can go a distance? We'll do it for charity. You want to do 24-hour stream with me? They're asking if that backlight is a grid.
Yes, the backlight has a grid. It has a click magnum and a grid on it, and it is group D. And I have no idea how this is going to look. But, you know, hang in there, Jennifer. Sorry. You're being incredibly patient. How about a round of applause for Jennifer? She's really just hanging in there like gangbusters for us. I do actually also use a tripod a great deal when I teach, because when I'm turning away from the camera, I don't want to put the camera down on the ground while I'm talking, leave the camera on the tripod.
There's discussion asking mainly what your choice of 50 millimeter came from.
My choice of 50 millimeter for this particular evening was the limited space of the studio, and to be sure, and also the access to limited depth of field. All right, and that's 7.0, I'll shut that off. Okay, that's looking very good. Hang on, sorry to do this to you again, Jennifer. Need a little refresh. And also, athletes, when they sweat like all over the place, right? I mean, boxer in a ring is like Boxing is literally one of the most exhausting sports you could possibly engage in, you know. All right, cool. Now I have my light in the picture. That's generally speaking a no-no, but I just wanted to see whether it works or not. Does anybody think that works? A little too much? Looks like she's wearing a hat that's red, perhaps. Okay, let's do this. What you're seeing here is a determination to get complex, a determination to actually get so deep into trouble, there's almost no way back. But that's part of the fun of it, really. Now, could you put your fists up in the position? So maybe, just maybe, it might work if I do like a little glimmer of a light off of her forearm here. Sorry. Beep. All right, cool, cool. Nice. Okay, it's a little much. The reason it's a little much, Seth, could you help me out? The reason it's a little much, you see the angle there? It has to skim up the light. So what I'm thinking is if we can get it low here and have it just blow up the forearm. Right now it's just a spotted light.
You want to go this way?
Yes, just a glance. Always remember angle of incidence, angle of reflection, very powerful photographic element. You know, you get a lot of, if you can skip a light instead of slam it, that oftentimes works better. Quick tip, if you would like or be interested, if anybody works by themselves, if you're doing nighttime portraiture out on the streets, has to be something of a quiet street. But if you have like somebody out there you want to photograph with street lights in a moody way, this and that, brick, concrete, highly reflective, okay? Take your car, say someone's on the sidewalk and you're photographing them, and here's the buildings. Take your car down to the end of the block, turn it around, roll it kind of up on the sidewalk at 45 degrees, turn on your brights, and then put heavy-duty gels over your headlights on your car. You will light the entire block, okay? Just, it'll skip right off the buildings and come right back. Your subject probably even get a little bit of a rim.
So you're going to get this casting a shadow. So if you go across her, you're going to get that shadow. If
Okay.
you want it more directed.
Let's try that.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Okay, all right. This light is going to go all over the place here. All right. It's a lot of light. Let's tone it down just a tiny bit.
And her fist is going to make a shadow on her jaw.
Let's see. Cool. Yeah, a little bit. All right, I tell you what. Let's try this. I'm going to kill that light. Seth, if you wouldn't mind killing that light there and replace it effectively in this position with this light. And let's see what it looks like instead of the white light on her braids. Let's see if we can just replace that with more of a spotted light and see how that works. Thank you very much, Seth. Appreciate it.
You want to do it like a 45 or
Yeah,
you
like-
hit more
like-
here than here?
Yes, let's hit more of her shoulder and her back. Not going to get the fire department to come in, am I?
Yeah, let's not do sprinklers tonight. That'd be great.
All right, so I'll leave it up to you.
You want to do the back, yeah?
Yeah, just the back. All right, ready? Fighting stance. Here we go, here we go. Okay. Starting to have a little bit of merit. Let's try again. Cool, cool. Let's just see what the residue. Not enough. Just blow one piece right near her head. There we go. Cool, cool, and that's nice. That's starting to get there a little bit. I mean, smoke is like herding cats. You know, you just can never tell what's going to go on. Careful, careful. All right.
We could put it more centered up and then kill it.
Yeah, try that. Yeah.
Joe.
Maybe take the grid off of it.
Yeah, I got you.
Let's see. Watch your eyes, Seth. Watch your eyes.
Come on, Joe. Come on.
Oh,
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, but now if you light the fog,
Let's see. Cool, cool. And there we go. Is it going off?
I think you need more light than that.
Yeah, because it's not really hitting much. So, all right, so I'm going to kind of blow it out here a little bit. Here we go, here we go. Perfect. Nice. Starting to happen a little bit. Now, if we put a different gel, say with that light here, let's just try that for 1 sec. That'll be the last thing I'll do. I'll just.
Let me change this real quick and try one thing before you do that, right?
All right. What are you going to do, Seth? You got me nervous.
I'm going to light to her shoulders, so I'm going to fog it, and then it'll hit the fog.
Yeah. All right. Everybody get that on the air? We're gonna hit the fog.
Hit the fog.
We're gonna hit it so bloody hard it's never gonna recover. Swear to God, fog will never be the same again.
You know you're fired after this, right?
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
How high is that light?
It's right behind her head.
All right. So please lower it.
Okay,
Is that possible?
yeah, I just got to flip it.
Hang on.
You wanna keep it straight?
No, I like the angle of it. I like the angle of it. Is everybody enjoying themselves?
Yes.
This is illegal in certain states, what we're doing here tonight. Thank God.
You know what? Why am I fighting this thing?
All right.
I don't know what's going on that stream.
Well, do you have to get onto the stream? Is that like part of the deal?
I don't know what they're looking at right now. So if you're watching this live and I don't know what the screen looks like right now, I'm sorry, guys. Let me get a sandbag around this.
Thank you, thank you. Almost done, Jennifer, almost done. All right, here we go, one more time. Ready? Cool, 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 cool. All right, Seth, can you pull it? Let's put that one,
What are you doing with this?
I don't know. You know, you got to take a chance, you know? I mean, lots of people are watching me work like now, and they could be like, oh man, he doesn't know what he's doing. You know, it's not that I don't know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, but I'm experimenting to see within the context of that what may or may not work. Here's the thing. I use the expression in my head, I'm fat, right? Because if like the very first picture we shot, that when we finally ended up with the backlight and the blue and the weapons and stuff like that, that's a really nice picture. So now I'm figuring, okay, I'm fat. You know, I'm cool. I've got a good picture. So now experiment. You know, take a crack at something that may or may not work. You know, because if you know you got a photograph already, then what's preventing you from getting a little crazy? You know, even if I'm in public, I don't care. Hey guys, you know, whatever. You know, have a pizza, relax, sit back. You know.
Are you ready?
Hang on.
Come on, McNally. I'm ready. Where are you
You
at?
know, pipe down. All right, here we go. Ready? Cool. Here we go. Oh, ye of little faith, huh? Okay, all right. No, she looks great. She looks great. And let's see, where are we here? A little bit of blue rim on. I like what's happening on the far side of her face. Kind of cool. So the pink light is group D, right? That one back there is group D, I believe. I'm going to tone that down just a tiny bit. And the blue is working out relatively well. All right, here we go. Again, nice, beautiful, perfect. Okay.
Wow, you lost a lot of that, huh?
Yeah, too much. Okay, bring it back. Now, Jennifer, last thing. Can you look at camera? Oops. Are those lead shot bags?
No, it's full of tools. It's still weight.
Okay, I'll take that.
I use pennies in my studio. Cheapest sandbags ever. What do you want to do?
Could you grab a white fill board?
Yeah.
Or one of those metallic ones you showed me?
You want a real board, right?
Yeah. Now, this isn't classically the light I might use for an upfront portrait, but let's have a bit of fun with it. I'll see if I can get it out of my photograph, which would be nice. All right, just relax. This will be the last picture coming up. All right, that's pretty nice. Okay, now grab the weapons, please. Okay, and that is A. Put a tiny bit. No, that's not A. That's B.
You are in it now, McNally.
Ah, man. All right, cool. Quick thing. Just looking your way. Cool. A little bit brighter. Okay. Now, you see the attitude and change of the light? See when she was looking at camera? See the drop shadow on the far side? Now she turns, and you see how that is flooding her with light. That's the point I was trying to make before. Now there's no character to this whatsoever. Okay? All right, so, again, same pose, in tight. Okay? Let me size up here. Pull it in tighter towards your face. Yep, in there. Quick test. Nice. Now I'm a little too tight on her. I got to move back. Okay, nice. Tighter even onto your face. Cool, cool. Now I've got my background light in the photograph, but I'm not going to mess around too much at this point. It's late. Seth, the pink light in the back is what group, please? D, I think? D as in David? Okay, I'm going to make that a little stronger. And, okay. All right, let's smoke it up.
What do you want to do with this?
I want to scoop it underneath this.
Like this, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Silver, though.
Silver, yeah.
Whoa.
All right, here we go. Lots of smoke, lots of smoke. There we go, there we go, there we go.
Okay.
All right. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm exhausting Seth. Please do that again. Could I get a hand out of the audience, please? Could I get somebody to go. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Ready. Tighter, tighter, tighter. That's it. That's nice. Stay with it. Nice. Stay with it. Nice. More smoke. Nice. Perfect. All right, cool. Now, you know, that light over there, I can handle that. I'm not going to observe niceties right now because the store is about to close and they're going to throw us out onto the street. But anyway, let's do one more with more smoke and hang on. Okay.
You got this.
Yeah. No, I don't want to let it go quite yet. Okay, ready? Now, I want, if I may, I want the scream of your life. Mm-hmm. Okay? All right.
You ready?
Ready? And I'm going to be in really tight. Okay? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ah! It's not a bad one to end on. You know, not a bad one to end on. Maybe a little toned down on the screen. A little toned down. You know, whoo, you know, it's a little big. It's a little big.
Not too big.
Yeah, all right, here we go. All right, perfect. Okay, perfect. That's a great look. Closer to your face. Pull them in. Nice. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Nice.
All the smoke went away.
All right, one more time. Last one. Smoke it up. Here we go. Ready. In tight. Nice. Okay.
Keep it, go.
Go. All right. Round of applause for Jennifer. So, all right.
All right, we'll keep you, Joe.
All right, thanks. So everybody have fun?
Yeah.
Cool? All right, cool. All right, nice of you to come. Appreciate it. The store appreciates it. Thank you, Adorama. You know, anybody out there? Teresa, had a tremendous hand in making all this happen. And one more round of appreciation for Jennifer. Thank you. And a round of appreciation for Seth Miranda. Yeah, last ex-witness.
Don't forget to stop in the store and buy stuff. No, seriously, you can go say what's up to Alex, Maury, Marav. Everybody here can help you out with anything you saw, including the fog. The chat's talking about getting it other places. Crazy, right?
Nice.
You got free content here, kids.
All right, everybody get home safe. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody. And hit subscribe. You think you're subscribed, you're not. This isn't the main channel. Hit subscribe. Bye.